Let's do some face massage that mimics the effects of Botox. Botox is the most famous brand name for botulinum toxin, a neurotoxin or neuromodulator, as some professionals say, that is meant to relax muscles semi-permanently for 4 to 5 months so that the muscles wouldn't activate and cause wrinkles. But if you've been watching my videos, you know that in face yoga we actually learn to keep those muscles relaxed and we activate some other muscles to lift the face. Now, I'm not an expert on TOX, so I'm just going to say this. This massage is completely safe and completely free. If you have done TOX, be sure not to do any face exercise or face massage for at least 2 to 3 weeks because you don't want the toxin to spread. You definitely don't want it going to your facial nerves. For this massage, I have just moisturized my face, but if you want, you can use some oil or some lotion. I'm just going to spread some on my fingertips. The forehead is probably the most common area to do TOX, so we'll start there as well. The frontalis muscle always activates up, 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 lifting your eyebrows and creating these horizontal lines on the forehead. If you have those, it's a sign that you've been using your forehead muscle too much. You know that in face yoga, we learn to use the orbicularis oculi muscles instead so that we can keep the frontalis relaxed. And I've managed to do that quite well, but there is still one place where my frontalis wants to activate and lift this eyebrow higher than this one. Now first, identify the areas on your forehead where the frontalis muscle activates. It can be here, or even here. And only massage the area that activates. If you've been watching my videos, you know that I'm always very careful not to stress the skin. But this massage that I'm going to show you will stretch the skin a tiny bit. So don't do this if you don't need it. I'm just going to be demonstrating right here. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to lengthen the muscle. So I hold my fingers here and I'm lengthening the frontalis muscle here where it keeps activating. So I'll lengthen. And I'll maintain the length for a little bit. For a few breaths so that the muscle can breathe. I'm moving my fingers a little bit closer, and I'm trying to create length here. As the muscle activates, it gets shorter, so I'm trying to make it longer again. If the muscle is sore, don't do too much. Try not to bully it. Don't do any violence. Ahimsa in yoga, always, non-violence. And when the muscle finally relaxes, I can see that my eyebrows are at the same level again. So you can pause the video and do this for any of the places where you need it. And just don't do it anywhere if you don't need it, because it is going to stress the skin. And if you were wondering why I'm trying to bring an eyebrow down, doesn't Botox usually try to lift them up? In face yoga, we do that by activating the orbicularis oculi muscles, but we don't want the frontalis to activate, so we relax that just like TOX would do. With TOX, you sometimes see that this area is not relaxed and then you get these Spock eyebrows. I only have one Spock, but no Botox whatsoever. So for me, it's just that my muscle activates here, and that's why I try to relax it down. But I have the orbicularis oculi muscles active here so that this doesn't happen, okay? Another very common area to do TOX is in between the eyebrows, because you get these frown lines or 11 lines. The corrugator muscles, the eyebrow muscles, bring the eyebrows together, creating those lines. I'm only going to be massaging this side because this corrugator muscle is completely relaxed. But this one, not so much. I'm holding my forehead in place and I start with my knuckle, just very gently feeling where the corrugator muscle is. Mine is a bit sore, so I have to be gentle. I can even do this triangle shape with my index finger and my thumb, just to massage it very gently. And once again, I'm only massaging the very spot where I need it. I'm just not going to even do both sides. I don't want the skin to stretch any extra. I'm placing one hand here at the beginning of the eyebrow, and then I'm starting to lengthen the muscle, the corrugator muscle. My corrugator muscle is a little bit here under the eyebrow itself and then a bit above the eyebrow. So I couldn't, even if I wanted to, I couldn't tape it because I would need to tape the actual brow. Not a good idea. So I'm just going to have to relax it by lengthening it. And once again, breathe. And you may notice that some of the 11 lines already disappear when you manage to relax this muscle. But you know, it's not a one-off thing. You need to do this. In the beginning, you might need to do this every day, then 2 or 3 times a week to maintain the relaxation. And of course, you need to learn to not activate these muscles all the time. If you have frown lines, you might also want to relax the muscle that pulls the eyebrows down, and it's right there. If your fingernails are long, you might want to massage it with your thumbs instead. And never put any TOX this close to your eyes. I don't think they even do that. So this is something that is better massaged anyway. Good. This area here is the biggest TOX mistake that people can do. Right here is the malaris muscle, and the malaris muscle lifts the cheekbones up. It is the anti-aging missing link of the face, as they say. There was even a study on this. If you put some TOX here, the cheekbones will droop. Not the bone itself, but the muscle on top will droop. Not a good look. So don't put any TOX here. I personally love wrinkles here. If they bother you, just treat the skin. You can even do some massage here. Just be careful not to massage the very thin skin around your eyes. So protect that area and just massage here and treat the skin very well. But it's important to understand what causes these wrinkles here. It is not the malaris muscle. Look, I'm now activating the malaris muscle here, the one that people TOX. It's not that, it's this. When you lift your nostrils up and the sides of the nose up, you're creating wrinkles here. I think they look nice here, but I don't really like this look here or this here, and I can't really even see anymore. So as you may know, in face yoga, we learn to smile with relaxed nostrils, activating the zygomaticus major muscles. So instead of doing any TOX or relaxation massage here, we are relaxing these muscles here so that they wouldn't lift up. They are the levator, labii, superioris, alace, nasi muscles. LLSAN muscles. If you've had the flu, allergies, anything, you might be doing all the time, causing these strong nasolabial folds as well. So relaxing these muscles can actually feel fantastic. And then you can draw tiny circles with your index fingers right here where the nasolabial fold starts. You may be able to breathe easier through the nose, and you can see this line disappear. Then there are the depressor anguli oris or DAO muscles, DAO muscles. I've made a separate video on those, how you need to learn to not activate them when you chew, for example. But you can also massage the triangular muscle right here. And quite a nice way to massage it is just like this, to relax it. Not doing too much, not stretching the skin, just relaxing. A thing I've noticed about TOX with some of my clients is that TOX doesn't break the habit of activating a muscle. It just kills the muscle response. So what might happen after 4 or 5 months when the TOX wears off is that you have the habit and it can be even stronger. You're actually trying to do even more. So if you are in the habit of pulling the corners of the mouth down, or if you are in the habit of frowning, or in the habit of lifting your forehead up, your eyebrows up with the forehead, it could be that your habit is actually going to be worse. I've seen this happen. And then when there's no TOX anymore, you're just going to have more wrinkles. So of course, I as a face yoga teacher suggest that you learn to not do those bad habits with your face, that you learn to relax the forehead, the eyebrows, and the DAO muscles as well. And then there is the chin. A lot of people have the tendency to push the chin forward all the time. It ruins the lower teeth and it creates dimples here, kind of like this orange peel effect. So people are overusing the mentalis muscle here. But if you put TOX there, you might get this really weird looking, kind of like tongue shape here. So you have to be very careful with that. It's a better idea, once again, to learn not to push the chin forward. It will ruin your lower teeth, so don't do that. So learn not to push the chin forward all the time and just massage this mentalis muscle. Perhaps with the index fingers, perhaps like you massage the DAO muscles, just relaxing it. You can actually massage the DAO muscles also from the inside of heart. And you definitely can do that for the upper lip. I don't know if you've heard of the lip flip that people do with TOX. The point is to relax the orbicularis oris muscle a bit here so that your lip would turn up. If you've been watching my videos, and if you haven't, now is a very good time to subscribe to my channel. We have this exercise where we do the same effect, but without any toxins, just teaching the muscles to operate in a different way so that the upper lip wouldn't disappear. You can massage from inside with your thumbs, clean fingers, of course, so that you're shortening the philtrum. So I'm not pulling here, definitely no. I'm shortening the philtrum area and kind of lengthening the underside of the lip just a tiny, tiny bit. So I'm basically flipping my lip without any toxins, just very gently trying to relax this muscle the ring muscle around the eye, the ring muscle around the mouth, sorry, it's orbicularis oculi and orbicularis oris, but around the mouth, of course. So I'm trying to relax that. So that my upper lip would be relaxed, more visible. Sometimes I've seen the TOX do bad things to nose breathing. If you put too much, it could be that you don't hold your mouth shut anymore. So if there's a hole, it can make you a mouth breather, which is really, really bad. It distracts your nose breathing. As you know, in face yoga, nose breathing is super, super important. In life in general, nose breathing is super important. It will keep you much healthier. So be careful not to overdo anything here so that you will be able to keep your mouth nicely relaxed but shut. Good. And then there is, of course, the masseter muscle, the main muscle of mastication. From here to here, a muscle that does the chewing motion. And if you suffer from bruxism like I did, it can be very tense and even very sore. I've made a video on how I tried TOX here several years ago. And what I noticed is that when the muscle gets smaller, suddenly there is a lot of extra skin here. So be very careful and consider if you really, really need TOX, or if you could just do maybe more massage, more relaxation techniques, or maybe what finally worked for me was a complete lifestyle overhaul, letting go of stress. So if that might be a possibility for you, that would be absolutely the best way to get rid of bruxism, not TOX. But if you have sore masseter muscles right now, you can do these scissors with your ear in between and start massaging with this part, going from the upper part to the lower part of the muscle, opening and closing your mouth so that you find different spots. This is a very safe massage. You're doing a small circular motion, not really stretching the skin. But if your masseter muscle is really tight, you might actually need to stretch it. And now don't do this if you don't need it, because the skin is also going to stretch. But if you really need to lengthen the muscle, hold your fingers here and lengthen it all the way down. Do this several times, very slowly. I'm not going to show you because I don't have bruxism anymore and I don't want to stretch the skin, but it is a very good and important massage to do if the muscle is sore and tight. And then you also want to make it wider. It does the chewing motion, so it operates this way, and you also need to widen it. The relaxed jaw, just make the muscle wider. And you can even hold for a minute or two so that the muscle can actually relax. Acupuncture is also a great way to relax this muscle. It absolutely works. Doesn't last as long as TOX, but is absolutely safe. And then there is the platysma muscle, the skin muscle of the neck, from the corner of the mouth all the way down to the collarbones on both sides. If you notice these vertical lines appearing on your neck, it's a sign that you overuse the platysma muscle. It could be that you smile by spreading your mouth to the sides, creating tension here. Bruxism can also cause these vertical lines. And then whatever you do, if you just somehow grind your teeth all the time, it will show in your neck. In face yoga, we learn to do all kinds of exercises with a completely relaxed neck. But in the meanwhile, while you're learning that, we can stretch this muscle. So hold your fingers here and lengthen the muscle by maintaining this stretch for a minute or two. I've made a separate video on this stretch. It's a very important stretch if you spend a lot of time hunched over, shoulders forward, shortened neck. So you need to lengthen the platysma muscle. And a minute or two on both sides. Those were all the cosmetic uses of TOX on the face that I know of. Do you know some more? Let me know in the comments and I can make a new video with a massage to replace that TOX. And like I said, I'm not saying don't do TOX, I'm just saying that this massage is free and it's super safe. But of course, it's not a once in 5 months thing. You need to do it every day at the beginning. Then after that, maybe 2 or 3 times a week to maintain that relaxation. But it's all natural. And if you at the same time also do face yoga, you are going to learn to relax those muscles permanently so that they just don't activate anymore that much. And you won't need to do the massage and you definitely won't need any TOX. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, now is a great time to do that. And please let me know in the comments what you thought about this massage. Did it work for you? Did you find any sore spots on your face? And most importantly, are you going to keep doing this?